Okay. Okay, so I'll begin. Welcome everyone to this fourth meet and greet, a really great initiative of the Women's Federation for World Peace UN Office Vienna, and I think Women's Federation for World Peace Austria as well. Merle especially as really being the lead in this project. I'm very happy to speak tonight for a few minutes, and it was suggested that we, focus on some of the key issues really that are causing trouble at this time, and so some of the solutions that we are discovering through our working together as women and as leaders among NGOs and in our work towards the United Nations. I think we in our region here, in Europe and in Central Asia, in even Middle East, we are, of course, we are really in the middle of war time right now, something that a year ago seemed far, far away. And so now more than ever, I think the idea of peace, it's not just a theory anymore. When we're speaking about peace at the UN, I think we have real, images of things that are happening to colleagues of ours in Ukraine. Also we have very active Women's Federation for World Peace in Russia, also Israel, Palestine, all these countries that are getting more and more unsettled. So I think our efforts are more than ever needed. So what I thought I would do was just tell you a little bit about a few of our initiatives that we are working on at the United Nations in Geneva. These are real projects. So I will go back, I will maybe share my screen, and I will share quickly about two projects related, and then maybe two upcoming events also, which you're invited to join us for. Okay, share screen. And maybe let me find, sorry, I have to go to a different page. Okay, there we go. Okay, do you see that? Women's Federation for World Peace Youth Peace Conference?
Yes, and the side panel as well.
Okay, yeah, I don't want that necessarily. Okay, so this is one of our programs that we have been doing now for 4 years. I mean, this will be the 4th year. And it's, of course, it's possible because of a lot of our work reaching out with young people. We do many internships in Geneva. We invite young people to come and to participate in the Human Rights Council and in CEDAW, different programs that are going on at the UN, and to have some real experience of being like delegates and meeting some of the ambassadors and listening in on the discussions and sometimes making statements, I think like you do similarly in Vienna. But for most people, it's very amazing experience if they've never experienced that before. Also, the young people that come are always so excited to come. And I think through the course of their days or weeks at the United Nations, of course, many times their whole kind of almost like worldview changes because they realize that it's not such a untouchable, mysterious place. It's actually a place that is filled with people who are vulnerable, people who, many, many good people, totally dedicated people, but also people who make mistakes. And I know many of the young people that we have invited in as part of our internships. They have gone back home and completely changed, what they wanted to study or what they thought they could accomplish in their lives. So anyway, this is one of our programs, and it's called the Women's Federation Youth Peace Conference. And it is the first one we did was between Israel and Palestine. That is, it is a simulation. I think many of you know what a model UN program is. We made a simulation of the UN Peacebuilding Commission, which actually exists in New York. And we invite young people to play delegates in that debate. And each time we do it, we choose a different conflict. So, of course, we started off with not the easiest, Palestine, Israel. And the purpose of the meeting is for them to work together over, usually it's about a month, they work together, and it sort of culminates in a 2-day, very intensive meeting where all of the delegates, maybe up to 15, 20, 25, representing different countries, they try to see if they can't make some agreement. And of course, as these conflicts are ongoing, it's not so easy. And the other interesting thing about this was that when we did it, the one in Israel-Palestine, model UN programs are often actually done where the delegates play completely different countries. You know, I'm from Switzerland or America, and maybe I would play the Democratic Republic of Congo. And we did that for all the delegates except the ones that represented Palestine, Israel. So the 4 or 5 delegates that represented the real conflict area were actually from those countries. And so it was extremely intense for them actually to feel like they were given an opportunity to work out a peace initiative. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but so this was one of our meetings. And I think some of you were there, but of course, we were observers. It was the youth who did the talking and debating. And I just want to show you this is our executive summary, but it consists of, we had all along the way, we had some speakers come in to talk to them, to kind of orientate them, some people from Israel, from the UN, and then maybe are you seeing this as I'm moving the page, I think, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so I won't go through the whole thing because it's quite many pages, but I just wanted to come to the point. These were the members of the delegation. So these were all young people, of course, but they really spent 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks preparing themselves to represent these different countries or organizations. And, they had to study a lot to prepare. Each one began by preparing a statement that kind of opened the event with them. The lead was that statement that they presented. And then so the whole event was kind of managed by some coordinator who actually was very skilled in model UN. And actually the point was about this one was that by the end of the second day, they actually came to an agreement whereby Israel and Palestine, they both gave in to some certain conditions that were steps beyond what the governments actually were ever able to do. And they didn't do it easily, but they really somehow filled with this idea that we can't just not, this is an opportunity to make peace. They were so serious, and actually they conceded certain things, and they came to an agreement at the end, which anyway, I can send you the program later if you want. We did the same kind of thing for this one was Korea. Can you see that when I change? Yes, Renate? Okay, you're shaking your head. So this was the next year we did Korea Peace Accord. And we did something similar. Of course, we couldn't find someone from North Korea. So we had someone, I think it was from Pakistan, who played the North Korean delegate, but very seriously. And again, they had this opportunity to debate about how they thought peace could be accomplished. How could the border be opened? How could they begin living in peace between North and South? And it was and we invite guests to listen in, also from among our UN friends and colleagues. And it was quite remarkable. I know I don't have too long to speak, so I won't say more. I would just say that now this year, actually in the month of June, at the beginning of June, we will hold our 4th event, and this time it will not be virtual, it will be in person, and it will be in Lebanon. And actually we're inviting students in Lebanon to do the same thing and to talk about creating peace actually in their country, in their close region. And of course, because of the the very volatile situation that is there now. In fact, I even hope we're able to enter. We're still hoping for that. But because of the situation there, actually, we're going in from a different angle. And we're saying, we're talking about development. So peace through development. As we help each other develop, as we commit to helping one another to develop, peace naturally comes in. So it's a little bit different strategy, but actually we're very excited. And the last thing I want to mention is this is a program that we are working on now. It will be happening at the UN on May the 10th, the UN in Geneva. And it is titled No More War. Can we? And we are doing this together with this is my husband, Heiner. He is the head of the UN office for UPF in Geneva, and myself. We are kind of coordinating this, but we are bringing in, actually already we have the World Council of Churches is hosting it. The UN Women is hosting it. We think several governments we hope will come in, and a few other bodies, including the IAYSP, is coming in. And we have, even just today, we got several confirmations, including the ambassador of Costa Rica, and this is the UN Women. These are all people actually that I'm working with through my NGO Committee on the Status of Women. And even here we have a very exciting, so the first session is more faith-based approach to peace. And we have Ambassador of Indonesia, we have this person a Swiss, who just a few weeks ago was appointed to be the special advisor to the Secretary General of the UN for responsibility to protect. That is to avoid genocide, basically, that kind of position. And then we have the head of the World Council of Churches, and we have youth in each session as well. And then the No Peace Without Women, that is something that we created a few years ago. I think you know all about it. You have been part of it. Women's Federation has been promoting it in Europe and at the UN. And we had a series of conferences, and this one now we will do at the UN in Geneva. We have the head of the UN Economic Commission for Europe, head of UN Women. We have ambassador of Costa Rica. We have also the director of Inclusive Peace Institute, an amazing organization that brings in statistics and reasons why women are really amazing at making peace. It's really a wonderful organization. And we have the vice president of the Cambodian section of the International Association of Youth and Students for Peace. And I think it will be a very exciting, actually, event. So thank you. I think I went a little bit over my time, but I hope it's okay. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Carolyn.
Mrs. Carolyn.
Yeah,
Thank you for your opening remarks and describing about what you have been doing in the Women Federation for World Peace, from youth level to the actual events happening. Thank you for sharing your real projects in the UN Geneva and about also your upcoming projects with the MUN and the real UN. Yeah, it seems like it could be something, and it seems like it needs a lot of effort. Many best wishes for your event.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So having said that, let me move on to our next speaker. Our first speaker, actually, Mrs. Carolyn was the one giving us opening remarks. So our first speaker would be Ms. Rachel Beth Tamayo from the USA. She is currently the president for the JCI North Jersey and also serves as the UN representative for the Women Federation for World Peace International in New York. Ms. Rachel, the floor is yours. Is she here yet? Yes, yes. Hello.
Hi, everybody. Hello, everyone. I am Rachel Beth Tamayo, and I am the United Nations representative for New York, and I'm also working with Women's Federation for World Peace International as an executive assistant to our CAO director. Call it later. And also, as mentioned earlier by our host, I'm also currently elected as the new chapter president for JCI, North Jersey 2024. JCI is also a youth individual organization in which we were able to come up with a lot of projects, especially for our young individual. And I'm happy to be able to work with them because, you know, inspiring a lot of people, especially when you have an equipped experience, especially in handling an organization, it's, you know, it's a wonderful experience, and also to be able to inspire other people. Just to do a quick background for myself before I start with my presentation. So back in the Philippines, I am psychology. I have a psychology major. I studied master's in industrial and organizational psychology and also international business relations online. And back then I was also able to work with different organizations, young individuals such as Supreme Student Government. And also we have the JCI in the Philippines as well. And then we have a lot of projects, especially through education and mental health. So that's why I was able to I was so inspired the moment that Miss Merle Blaschke invited me as one of the speakers for the youth, because this is one of my goal and initiative for us to inspire a lot of people. And I'm also happy to be working with Women's Federation for World Peace International and to be surrounded by beautiful mentors inside and out. I learned a lot working with Women's Fed for almost half a year. And I was happy also to be able to join the last Commission on Status of Women 68 and to see your faces in person. And now I'm happy to, you know, quick introduce myself again. And of course, I have a quick topic, and it's called positive psychology, because I wanted also to share and inspire a lot of women and also young people why positive psychology and mental health awareness is important. So let me just share my first slide with you. It's called Positive Psychology, Meeting the UN Sustainable Development Goals for Mental Health. Using positive psychology and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals to build a better world others. So as we all know, we as an individual, we need to be aware on how to take care of our mental health. And that's also the reason why I took up my master's and study in psychology, because I wanted to also to empower women, and also not just the women, but young individuals all over the world, that mental health is one of the things that we have to maintain healthy, because we cannot do a lot of things if we are mentally drained, especially now that we are receiving a lot of challenges, difficulties in our lives or personal life or all over the world. That's why it's really important to have like a positive thought of mind, a train of thought, which is related to positive psychology. By profession, I am working also in the Philippines as training and organizational development officer, wherein I used to train people, especially for customer service, and then fostering for positive psychology using this strategic phases and also strategic tools. So on our next slide, as you can see, what is positive psychology? I know it's cliche to hear that psychology is a study of human behavior, but positive psychology is one of the strategic technique how to use and how to top different challenges when it comes to how to deal with mental health illness and mental health awareness. And as I relate this for our UN SDG, it is pertaining to SDG Goal 3, which is good health and well-being. We have to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. Do you imagine waking up in the morning, having a lot of things to do, especially your tasks, especially your personal lives, a lot of sometimes you also have a broken hearted, right? So it's really important for us to be able to have a good health and well-being by specifically addressing our mental health. That's why it is there at SDG Goal 3. As we all know, this is the United Nations Sustainable Goal adopted by all the world nations in 2015 to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all of the ages. For the first time, the global goals explicitly include mental health and target 3.4 countries agreed to promote mental health and well-being through prevention and treatment to reduce premature mortality by 1/3, and target 3.5 countries committed to strengthen the prevention and treatment of substance abuse. So the reason why I chose this topic, because as a young individual, I did a lot of projects pertaining to this section, because I wanted to be an ambassador for mental health, because I know that this is one of the crucial things that we have to address, especially for young people. for young people who are in the middle adult crisis, who they wanted to know what is their goal in the next few years, in the next 10 years, but not just for young individual people, but also for our middle adult or even our parents and young adult or older adults. Because mostly the reason why we cannot do the things that we wanted in life is because we are draining for all of the things that we see, especially when we come to think of it, like the world is full of, full of issues and full of a lot of problems. So this is one of the things that positive psychology addressing. So on our next slide, we have this strategic tools that we can use for a positive psychology. It is the theory of well-being. As a trainer and human resource organizational development, we use this theory of well-being. It's called PERMA model. PERMA model is a Seligman's framework for understanding and measuring well-being. Seligman's theory is one of the most theory that I love, especially of psychology, in a psychology field. This is a theory wherein you can use, especially not just for a specific relation to your family, but also for your work environment, occupational, and not even in occupational, but also for even to your friends or relationship with friends. So if you're wondering how can we use positive psychology and how can we rate that positive psychology in SDG 3 by taking care of our well-being, I remember just to share you a story before when I was working as a trainer. I used to handle different organizations, young individual organizations, and they always wanted to do this model for a strategic tools to handle an organizations for young people. First is positive emotions. So how can you use PERMA theory for this kind of situation? So positive emotions, it is referred to experience of positive feelings and emotions such as satisfaction, awe, and contentment. Next is engagement. Engagement relates to our experience of flow and being consumed in activity and environment. Relationships refers to the quality and quantity of social connections inside and outside of the immediate group. Meanings brings importance to having a sense of purpose or meaning in life. And last one is accomplishment. It's based on the experience of achievement and progress towards goal. It's just basically the definition of PERMA accordingly to Seligman's framework. But each of it has its own way of how to do things specifically in their framework. So in positive emotions, we have lots of projects that we were able to come up for them to be able to feel that they are satisfied at work and they can experience joy and contentment. And that would be on our next slide. But before we proceed with our next slide, we also have projects that is related to engagement. What are the projects that can our young individuals experience the flow and consume an activity and environment? How they can feel that they are involved and then they are welcome to the group. What are those? Relationships. How can you maintain relationships and social connections? Because sometimes if you feel that you are not belonging in a group, it means that sometimes you don't want to be involved. Sometimes your opinion or suggestion, your mind just have your thoughts, right? But if there is a strategic way, how can you deliver and able to proceed with that project because you maintain the sense of belongingness with your group, then that's the time that they can be more comfortable, that they can express their thought, their train of thought, and how they can be able to inspire as well other people. Meanings. This is my favorite part of this theory or framework, is the meaning. Because every time that you do something, it has to be related to your passion and your perseverance with your greed. As we all know that the combinations of the passion and the perseverance is the greed. The moment that you wake up in the morning, feel so tired, but if you know that you are working with something that is you're passionate about, you persevere and you finish it with a smile on your face, right? So it is something that could bring you a lot of experience in life that even if it is very hard for you to finish, but if it is related to the things that you really want and you're passionate about, there is no such a thing that you're tired or you're exhausted. So what are the tools that can help you out? So on our next slide, we will be sharing that. Next, the accomplishment is based on experience of achievement, progress toward goals. So once you achieve all of this theory or framework, you can now achieve the things that you have in your thoughts. So on our next slide, There you go. This is the projects related to SDG 3 or perma theory that I have been conducted before since I was 15 years old. I was 16. Just to share a brief background, before I was working in a government in the Philippines, wherein I used to, where I born, it's in Rizal. I was able to be awarded as one of the most influential young leader because of the projects that I have created. At a young age, I was able to work with our Supreme Student Government, and I'm honored to be part of this project. So first is the PERMA method during COVID-19. I remember I was just 22 or 24 this age, and I was so overwhelmed with COVID-19 pandemic. So what are the things that I did, or not me, but the team did for our community? Is the emotional distress brought by COVID-19 due to lack of occupational opportunities and emotional support. As you can see, this PERMA method during COVID-19 is not just focusing on the young individual, but also for our adulthood or the older adults, because most of them during COVID-19 wasn't able to work due to inflation or deflation. It's because most of the occupational or job opportunities was lacked out, because you weren't able to go outside to work because people are so scared, especially if there's like a COVID-19 or a virus. I experienced it when I was in the Philippines, and most of the Filipinos there are so scared to go outside, even to buy some food. They always wear masks. They always wanted to be inside their house. So the opportunity to work and to collaborate and to work network was 0, 100, 0. So what are the things that we can do to ease this pain? So we have this address, a free workshop and licensed called psychologists. So as an ambassador for mental health, I have a lot of networks, especially when it comes to tapping with my registered psychometrician friends, registered psychologists, wherein I offered a free service or call wherein they can just log in and then talk to a psychologist and then address their problems. And then that is the time that they are willing to share as well their, their experiences and also their problems. And they could also avoid a necessity for, if there is something that could the psychologists or free workshop for something that they wanted to address, for example, for the occupational opportunities. So it's a good initiative, and we've received a couple of comments and also suggestions from our participants when we did this PERMA method during COVID-19. Second, supporting young people's mental health to transition at work. This is what I did before when I was working as an HR practitioner in OD perspective method. As we all know, at your age wherein you were looking for a job or an internship opportunity, this is one of the crucial part in your life that you wanted to be involved in a corporate world. So as I have experienced that, I also wanted to help our young individuals to be involved and to get paid also for their work. So what I did is just I connect with the networks that I have, and I help those interns and also young people to have their own job and advanced corporate job experience in a business-related companies. So we've been helping 15 interns, and they were working and as paid volunteers for different universities in the Philippines, such as Far Eastern University, University of Santo Tomas, University of the Philippines, and so many more. So it helps me also to, of course, connect as well as a young individual representative from our chapter in Rizal, and they were able to come up with a good projects that is also good for young individual. So if you are looking for a job, if you're distressed because you wanted to experience a corporate job and you wanted to tap anybody, just let me know so I can also connect with you to our networks, especially if you wanted to do this internship job or opportunities. So this is supporting young people's mental health to transition at work project. And lastly is the child sponsorship, a rewarding and fulfilling experience. The mental health of individuals is shaped by the social, environmental, and economic conditions in which they are born, grow, and age. And poverty and deprivations are key determinants of children's social and behavioral development, adult and mental health. So we all know people is SDG 3, well-being, the most crucial part is poverty. And because we are under poverty, it's because of the lack of education. If we could just come up with a project that we can help our children through their education, through our helping hands, we can build up a good community and a better future. So we come up with a child sponsorship. When I was doing this project, I sponsored 3 adopted children through their education. And now that they are contacting me, it was maybe 15 years ago or 14 years ago when I was 15 years old, working with this child sponsorship with adopted children. And then now they were in college and they're all scholars, and we connected them with different universities. It was such a wonderful experience to bring these children and now fostering their, their lives as an individual, because they have their passion in education and they also wanted to help children as their experience to be able sponsored by. So children are the future of the world, and we need to ensure their education and health. So this is something that is related about the mental health projects that I used to, using the positive psychology and PERMA method, which is positive emotions and relationsness emotions, and then the achievement of the goals. And last but not the least, thank you so much. And this is again, I would like to use this space and opportunity to thank Women's Federation for World Peace for giving me space to also to share the projects that I've created. And I've been waiting for this opportunity because I wanted also to inspire and to empower young individuals that whatever you have in mind, whatever you have in your thoughts, you just have to make an action, be better and be bolder, and always do whatever you have with good actions without getting any bad intentions for it. So thank you so much. And also thank you, Miss Merle Blaschke. It's my birthday today, and it's a wish come true for me to be able to inspire a lot of young people and working with Women's Fed. Have a great day ahead.
Well, happy birthday to you, Miss Rachel. Many, many happy returns of the day. And we could clearly see your passion all the while during the presentation. Thank you so much for working so hard and for sharing about the works that you have been doing related to positive psychology and to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal 3, good health and well-being. Definitely very important. And yeah. So let's move on to our next speaker. She is Sara Pirker. I met her during UNODC constructive dialogues multiple times, actually. She is currently the project officer at the UNODC Civil Society Unit. And she also worked as a public health consultant in Austria and also worked in renewable energy. Please tell us about your work, what you have been doing. Yeah, the floor is yours, Sara.
Thank you so Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me to join this meeting today. Thanks especially to Renate for making that possible. My main work is with the UNODC, the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. I see many familiar faces here tonight, so I will spare you to go into the very details of what our office does. But very briefly, we work to address crime, drugs, and corruption together with member states. And our unit, the Civil Society Unit, mainly focuses on how to increase meaningful engagement with civil society to tackle these problems and help working on the Sustainable Development Goals, especially Goals 3, as we've already heard tonight, 16 and 17. My work mostly focuses on the drug policy aspect of UNODC's work and on crime prevention and criminal justice. We at the UNODC Society Unit work through 3 main umbrella organizations, the Vienna NGO Committee on Drugs, the Alliance on Crime Prevention and Criminal Justice, and the UNCAC Coalition. that enable us to reach a wide range of civil society organization working on the subject matters, and help us engaging with those organizations to share capacity buildings and but also to bring these organizations to the intergovernmental meetings in Vienna. So I'm not entirely sure how many of you have engaged with the various meetings in Vienna before and how familiar you are with those. But very briefly, I wanted to give you an overview of kind of upcoming opportunities where you could engage. And we have the kind of next big thing in Vienna in terms of drugs, crime, and corruption is going to be the CCPCJ, the Commission on Crime Prevention and Criminal Justice, in May. And we very much would welcome all NGOs in consultative status with ECOSOC to join us for that meeting and to share their perspectives. There will be around 90 side events in the margins of the session, many of which will be organized by NGOs. And it's usually a very engaging and very important meeting, especially looking forward to 2026 and the next Crime Congress. As already mentioned, we have another constructive dialogue coming up before summer as well. This one on international cooperation, a very key topic for many of you. The constructive dialogues are a part of the engagement mechanism with the United Nations UNTOC. And again, not only ECOSOC NGOs, but any NGOs working on transnational organized crime and on the topics at hand, like international cooperation or technical assistance, are very welcome to join these dialogues, share their perspectives with member states. And this is a very crucial opportunity because it's not often you get an entire day with member states to share your opinions on the work they do and make concrete suggestions on how to do things better. And last but not least, we've been trying to engage more on the topic of cybercrime. And you might have heard of the member states' work to come up with a new convention on cybercrime, which has been ongoing for the last 3 years. The process has currently stalled, but they are planning another meeting either in August or later that year to continue negotiating such a document. And any of you working on those issues should try to engage there as well, as it's going to be a very crucial intergovernmental negotiation, and member states are not at all in agreement on how this document should look like. Very briefly, I'm going to share my screen, if that is possible. So,
it's working.
It's working? Wonderful. Great. So one of our key platforms that we use to try to engage NGOs with each other and offer the opportunity to share best practice on a day-to-day basis is our two online platforms, the NGO Marketplace, which is open to all NGOs working on drug policy issues, and the What's On Knowledge Hub, which is focused on crime and corruption. And if you're not on the platforms yet, I do invite you to check them out. The NGO Marketplace currently has around 500 organizations that exchange on news and updates, share events, and information about their ongoing projects. And the What's On Knowledge Hub has around 500 individual stakeholders that do the same, and it offers the opportunity to publish web stories and share other relevant data from your work. So I would really suggest that you go online and check those out. I'll be posting the links in the chat afterwards. And with that, I would open the floor to any questions or comments from your side before I give back to our hosts.
Thank you, Sara, for sharing about your work and also sharing about the platform where we can come together. And it's nice to know the insights on the Convention on Cybercrime, because I have actually been looking into it. Well, looking forward to it, the making of it. So for the next speaker, we have Miss Arshia Dutta from the USA. She is originally from India and now currently attending in Queen's Technical School in New York. She is young and in the 10th grade right now. Oh, I just saw a message that Arshia will be after the next speaker. Okay, yeah. So let's move on to another speaker, Miss Claire Mary Hernando. She is also from Philippines. The floor is yours, Miss Claire.
Hello, good evening, everyone, and good morning here from the Philippines. It's currently 2 a.m. So I hope everyone's doing well right there from other parts of the globe. So today, I will be sharing to you our best practices as youth leaders here in the Philippines. So by the way, before I start, allow me to introduce myself. I am Claire Mariam Hernando, a 12th grade STEM student from Tagbilaran City, Bohol, Philippines. So if you'll come to the Philippines, you'll be amazed with what Bohol has in store. So we'll be very happy to welcome you all when you come to visit sometime in the future. And I am a two-time president of our student government in the school-based and division-wide. I have been involved in various organizations within and outside the school campus, championing advocacies related to environmental protection and conservation, poverty reduction, gender equality, and education, or like quality education for all. And so far, I'm also a two-time delegate for international exchange programs in Japan and in USA. So those exchange programs experiences really immersed me to other cultures and allowed me to see what Philippines is in store for the rest of the world and what we can do to work together in our pursuit for a better world in the future. So allow me to share my screen. There you have it. Is it now visible in your end?
Yes.
All right, thank you. So SDGs and me, Sustainable Development Goals, which we all aim to reach by 2030, and how it is correlated with the Claire that is speaking in front of you today. So I first learned SDGs during the onset of the pandemic. That was, I think, in 2020. So it's really been a 4-year journey of championing advocacies and enriching communities for me. When I first learned about it, I saw it over a television program, but what really hooked me into its essence was when I started joining organizations, that's non-government organizations outside the campus, and being involved with various youth leaders from other parts of the Philippines who are also advocates for the SDGs. And there, I was really shocked that, oh, we really have this goal by 2030. So why is it that not everyone else is aware of this? So that pulled me, that put me into the track that I have to get myself into this track, and I have to work with this so that I can be of help in creating a better world for the future. I'm not really so sure of what specific organization dragged me into SDGs, but I am sure enough that all of, or majority of the organizations I've been involved with are all related to the advocacies that I am championing. And my advocacies are all rooted with the Sustainable Development Goals. So soon after I've been joining organizations, the stars aligned for me to know what specific SDG among the 17 SDGs are really for me, and which among these will I be really working with, which are related as well to my passion and to my skills and interests. So then I started having other youth to be on track with me, to join me in activities that started way back in the pandemic. So of course, those were really hard for me to organize or for me to join, because we were on an online setup. Like this setup that we have right now is very, very vivid to me 4 years ago, and how we worked with youth leaders and other students from across the nation and championing our advocacy. So now allow me to break down our accolades, our activities that are really related to SDG. So start with, we have here first the No Poverty. So this project is in line with my Chief Girl Scout application in the Girl Scouts of the Philippines. So in other countries, that might be other Girl Scouting movements, but is all under a big umbrella of organization, which is the World Association for Girl Guides and Girl Scouts. So I started at the age of 14, if I'm not mistaken, 14 or 16, I initiated this project called Pagpakahanas, a skills development project for the unemployed adults of Purok 4 de La Paz, Cortes, Bohol, to leverage family income. That was a girl-led initiative wherein we gathered unemployed adults within that specific community and assessed what are their skills, what are their interests, and where could we get in leveraging their income, because that was in the pandemic and a lot of people lost their job because of the lockdown and whatsoever. So we tried to bridge the gap and found a way for us to help them, even in our own little ways. Even if they're stuck in their homes, they could earn money. So specifically, we did gardening. We also planned out to roll out massage workshops and online selling, but due to the constraints of the pandemic and the other resources that we have that time, we were not able to go to that phase. But we were able to have our initial meetings with the adults, and then we were able to gather government and non-government organizations to be our partners, including the ATI, or the Agricultural Training Institute in the Philippines, as well as the Women's Federation for World Peace through Miss Merle during that time. And that was really a life-changing opportunity for me, because I was never really hooked into doing like this, and even my people around the community doesn't really know me as being someone who will do such project. But then I tried to come out of my comfort zone, and then that was, I think, the turning point of everything. So that activity was also related to the other SDGs, including the SDG number 8, which is the decent work and economic growth, as well as SDG number 10, reduce inequality. up next, we have here our works with the SDG numbers 2 and 3, Zero Hunger and Good Health and Well-Being. So I am an active leader in the Girl Scouting movement, and during the pandemic, I was so blessed to become part of the nation's advocacy champion for a day, the champions for nutrition and well-being. So we had our activities for 2 years in a row. In the month of August, it is also in time with our Buwan ng Wika, or our month for our language and our culture. So we try to incorporate our language, our culture, and the essence of nutrition in it. So we had a lot of contests and activities online to engage the girls and young women within the country on how they could make use of their current resources and how they could make use of their time in the midst of the pandemic and still championing for nutrition. So we had talks, we had activities. So as you can see in the screen, there are like Wikang Trivia Talk, like it's a trivia where they post videos of themselves giving out trivias on their own regions and their own cultures in their respective hometowns, as well as how they could relate it to nutrition. Then we also told them to cook some dishes, nutritious dishes, and share it to their family, because all of these activities are related with the GSP's 8-point challenge badge. So up next, we also have here the quality education for SDG number 4. I could remember my 15-year-old self juggling with this project, which I never had any idea about, through the Youth Advocates for the Philippines. So we tried to gather small businesses to be our partners to sell things for a cost, and the money we've gathered there were used to buy school supplies for the less fortunate students within the province of Bohol. So that was as well partnered with other provinces within the Visayas region, because YAP, or the Youth Advocates for the Philippines, is a national organization, and that's also one of the main organizations which hooked me into SDG. And another one is we have here our current project, Project Kat-On. Kat-On is a Bisaya term for learning. So it is our project after we had our Southeast Asian Youth Leadership Training or program in the USA. So it is a project sponsored by the US Embassy. So our goal there is to build a learning hub where we could open doors of possibilities, especially to those students who are out of school youth. So that learning hub aims to gather the students where they could access more resources and link with other students as well, where they could learn from them and have more learnings and skills and interests that are not generally introduced in the walls of the classroom. So far, since it's been just a year since we had our leadership program, our exchange program, we already donated some books and learning materials to that specific elementary school in our province. So that's Libertad Elementary School. So we also partnered with a specific institution here, that's University of Bohol. So we tried to gather all of the resources that we have and give it to them, especially that specific elementary school is low, like the buildings are not so great for them considering their population. So as of current, we are trying to contact with some local government units first to really build our learning hub to realize this Project Kat-On. Up next, for gender equality, this is one of the main advocacies that I am really passionate about, considering that I am involved with the Girl Scouts of the Philippines, the World Association for Girl Guides and Girl Scouts, and I really believe that in our current generation, we really need to empower girls and young women for them to act out and voice out, and because they have a lot of potential to change the world. So that started with my Josefa Aledes Escada e-conference journey in 2020, where I was chosen one among the many Girl Scouts around the country to participate in a 4-week program online conference that talked about mindsets international mindsets that could equip us girls into being leaders in the future. So one of the key takeaways I had right there was the worldwide mindset, which allowed me to see things in a greater perspective and a bigger perspective, that my involvement doesn't just mean that I am involved in the community, but it could really create ripples of effect worldwide. Then I was also given the chance to represent our council in the Generation Equality Unlocked and Way Forward GSP's Head Start in an Equal Future for Girls and Young Women, where we talked about the gender-based violence happening in the Philippines. We gave out hard facts, hard data to tell the girls that this is really happening and you have to be aware of this. Now, because in our organizations, we believe of the IDA approach. So it's about awareness, interest, desire, and action. So we started with awareness, giving out information for them to have interest, to act out, to voice out, and the desire to take action. So another one is when we already channeled that initiative to Bohol through the Project Aware, so that's Add Your Voice, when we gave out database information as well as some talks that aim to empower girls on the issues relating to gender-based violence. And just recently, last March 2024, I was given the chance to talk about the child as a child representative to the city council on how our girls currently in the city or in the province have been doing well when coping to these issues. But we are blessed that the gender-based violence are not so rampant in our city. But that event organized by our city council was a stepping stone to empower others to break free from the walls of like the walls that stop us from doing things that are like, you're just a girl, so you're not allowed to do this and that. And I was so glad that during that activity, a lot of young women and leaders from different schools were gathered to also tell them about the rising teenage pregnancy issue in our city. So that was a two in a row event where we celebrated Women's Day as well as Teenage Pregnancy Symposium. Up next, we have here the Sustainable Cities and Communities for SDG number 11. So being a STEM student, I have always looked into the possibilities of how I could incorporate my strand, my academic strand, with my advocacies. So we tried, in our most recent research project, we tried to create a desalination device, a low-cost desalination device that aims to transform seawater into a pure water. Because in our society today, one of our most rampant issues is the water scarcity. So that's evident in several of our islands here in the province of Bohol, where they don't have access to clean water. Some of them still has to travel to the mainland and back to just which costs around twice as much as what costs a water gallon here in the city, just for them to access that water. While some are even trying to gather water out of rain. So knowing the current situation in the Philippines, that with a rising heat index, it might be hard for them to gather rain at this time. So I've personally thought that what can we do to solve this issue? And we can't just rely on the existing machineries today, because existing desalination devices today are very costly. They involve reverse osmosis. Some might involve thermal desalination and solar desalination, but it's really costly and not affordable for the islanders. So I and my team tried to come up with this device. So after a series of experiments and researches, we were able to finally to produce a water that's the same standards as that of the Philippine National Standards for Drinking Water. So although our study did not really try to reach the parameters of the drinking water, but we were so happy that our product was able to reach that parameter for drinking water, meaning even though that we are not aiming for like something potable, at least we could say that its quality is already at par with something potable. So I personally hope to continue this project in the future once I get my master's degree or even my bachelor's degree in college soon. So I still don't know, but that's one of the plans in the future. And by the way, this project was as well presented nationally in a Ideathon competition organized by Shell, as well as in an international conference with other youth innovators from other countries. So that's one of the good thing there, that we already have highlighted this and we already have shared this with others. So maybe we could get a network to fund this in the future, to escalate this in the future. Next, we have here climate action, another advocacy closest to my heart, where I am a current vice president of a certain youth organization in our province that is really passionate about climate action, environmental protection, and conservation. So in the time of the pandemic, we were able to use the social media platform to encourage everyone to plant trees and seedlings. So as seen in the left, we were able to plant around 200 plus seedlings in a certain municipality in our province. And we were able to do that by having this, like, one share is equal to one seedling. And then that seedlings were from a specific organization, a specific institution in our province, which is something like DNR, or the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. And we tapped the ROTC of BISU, the Bohol Island State University, and other partners, including the Rotary Club of Upper Tagbilaran. And that's just one of the proof that we could do really something. We could do a lot when we work together as one, when we partner. And on the right, it's one of our initiatives when we did coastal cleanups, even in the midst of the pandemic. So that's why we were wearing masks. So we tried to spot locations within our city that has alarming trash number. And it's not just like, yeah, we acknowledge that coastal cleanups and tree plantings are band-aid solutions to environmental issues, but that's what we could do at least at that moment. So we tried to maximize our resources. So during the coastal cleanups, at least we did brand audits so that data were submitted to the local government units in that specific area that we did it. So that's something, a twist with the normal coastal cleanups that usually people do. So we also tried as much as possible to track where our trashes collected were being sent to, so that they will not just be sent to the landfills. So we had to have strong connections with the LGUs, because that's our organization as well. The Kabiling Lunhao, the one I mentioned earlier, was one of the key organizations trying to build the first zero waste island in Bohol. So to share a few of that idea of that project, we targeted the specific island in our province, that's Tintinan Island. I don't know if some of you here are familiar with it, but we tried to convert that island to a zero waste island. But however, some unforeseen situation happened, specifically the onset of a super typhoon Odette. So the operation was halted, and we could not bring back the project again in that island, sadly, because it has a no build zone policy. So meaning after the typhoon, everything was washed out and the people were advised to transfer, and we could not anymore do that project. We could not anymore continue that project in that island. So at current, we are trying to locate some other areas where we could do this like zero waste project. So we have a pending project proposal with the Asian Foundation, which we were blessed to receive around 1.7 thousand USD grant for this so-called KKK, or the Kinayahan Kauban sa Kabatanunan, where we are planning to convert that specific barangay in our city into a like zero waste, hopefully zero waste community by slowly empowering the youth to be with us, to join forces with us, because we believe that the youth forces is one of the key instruments for us to go on with this project. And aside from these initiatives, it involves climate action. In our school, specifically being the student government president, this year I was able to start a zero waste practice in our school where we don't collect any trash. We don't allow any trash to get in our school, and we practice our students to be responsible for their own trash by tracking their cleanliness every day, every lunchtime. So that's one of the good sides there, because before, one of our problems were how to manage these trashes, because trashes are there and what could we do for them to get out of the campus? Then that's a stepping stone to hopefully create my school into the first plastic-free and zero waste school in our city. And aside from that, Bohol also has been facing some like issues or problems when it comes to environmental protection and conservation. Like there were problems on turning that specific area, that specific coastline into an establishment and whatsoever. So being an environmental advocate, I tried to lobby policies together with other environmental advocates in our province and tried to meet them halfway on how we could ensure economic stability, economic advancement, while also still protecting our province, considering that Bohol is a Geopark Island or Geopark Island awardee this year. So the efforts for environmental protection in our province is still so long, a long way to go. But with the efforts of our fellow advocates who are also Earth warriors, and with the right way for us to solve such problems and lobby such issues in the correct or in the right people, I believe that someday soon, before 2030, we could protect our island being a geopark, being a geopark awardee. So up next, for the partnership for the goals, last one for the SDG number 17, I'm really a believer that we could do a lot when we partner. We could do a lot when we converge, when we work together. So this was further proven during after the onset of the Super Typhoon Odette in the Philippines, because that's really a big shock in the province of Bohol. So after that, we were able to launch the One Bohol Relief Drive through Youth Lead Philippines. So I don't know if you're familiar with this, but it is a national organization that hosts a lot of leadership trainings for Sangguniang Kabataan and other youth leaders within the country. So during that One Bohol Relief Drive, you were able to give a holistic approach to the survivors of the ST Odette. So we were able to give them psychological assistance, to give them like clothes, their basic needs, as well as the kids with what they could how they could process the things that have been happening to them. And another one, in support of the One Bohol Relief Drive, we were able to launch this Help Little Tarsi 2.0 project. Tarsi, because Bohol is known for the tarsier, the big animal, the small animal rather, with the big eyes that's alive at night. So probably those tarsiers were alive tonight. So we were able to launch that project through selling shirts, and then the profit that we gained there were given through the One Bohol Relief Drive to assist the recovery of the survivors of the Super Typhoon Odette. So that was not just a one organization effort, but it was a convergence of a lot of youth-led and youth-serving organizations within the province and even outside the province within the country. So those signatures, as you can see in the right picture, are testaments that a lot have committed to that work, where we challenge ourselves to raise 10,000 pesos or to raise 10,000 to sell 10,000 shirts by
Miss
looking for
Hernando,
partners.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I think we have to be very mindful about the timing, and also since we have other speakers left, can you wrap your presentation up real quick?
Okay,
Because
okay, okay. I'm
we have to
sorry.
be, yeah, no worries. Go on.
Okay, thank you. So that's the last one. I believe that through the SDGs, we could do a lot. And this is as well my thank you to the Women's Federation for World Peace for inviting me. Thank you, Miss Merle, for giving me the chance to show to you what we have done in our country. And may this be a starting point that we could do a lot as like youth leaders in the future. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a good evening.
Thank you for your lengthy presentation. Now for the next speaker, I would like to ask Renate to invite her, and I will have to leave right now, but thank you so much. Thank you, Merle, for organizing this event. Thank you, Renate. Thank you, Women Federation for World Peace International, and thank you for having me as your moderator.
Thank you very much, dear Sulva. Yes, this was already discussed before. Sulva has another date and termin, so she has to leave us. I thank you so much for all these speakers, these wonderful ladies from young people from the Philippines. It's really amazing, absolutely amazing for me. I must really say, I also want to say one more word to dear Sara Pirker, who came in actually quite on short notice, because I really want to emphasize that the UN in Vienna is so welcoming and supporting for us as NGO. We can come with all questions, with all, we can ask, we receive help. And there is a whole unit taking care that NGOs have a place at the UN and encourage the governments to listen to the NGOs. Sometimes one whole day listening to NGOs. Normally we listen to the governments. I really want to say this and say thank you very much, Sara, that you also came in, because you were working all day and this is already your private time in the evening. Now we really want to invite our next speaker. Did I understand it is going to be Arshia Dutta? She is going to be next. Am I correct? I don't really want to say Merle, because Merle Soquila Blaschke actually was putting together the program. So who is the next speaker? Or Hernando?
Nikki is the next.
Nikki, okay.
Nikki, Jerusalem.
Okay, so always changing. No problem. Just enough to find. Sorry. Nikki, Jerusalem. Gjeloshgjoka from, Miss Nikki. I will not say so much because we rather listen to you, and everybody got this very nice compilation of CVs. So dear Miss Nikki, welcome on the podium. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I hope you can hear me well. Right now until now it's been heavily raining, so I hope that my internet will sustain me until the end of my presentation, and I'll do my best to really keep up the time. So yes, let me share my screen for a moment. All right, there you go. Can you see my screen?
It's coming. Yes, we can see it.
All right, it's very nice. All right, so yes, once again, good evening, everyone. I hope you're all doing well, and really, I'm thrilled to be here today, gathered virtually with such diverse and passionate group of individuals, united by our commitment to shaping a more resilient and sustainable future. Our theme is very, very relevant. Women and youth working together for a more resilient and sustainable future. And it really underscores the vital importance of collaboration across generations and genders in tackling the complex challenges we face today. And I wanted to share how collaborative leadership impacts for a sustainable future. And yeah, so in the next few minutes, I will really try my best to make it fast. So yeah, in the next few minutes, I will share about some insights into how collaborative leadership can profoundly impact our journey towards sustainability. And yeah, I have for over 4 years of serving as the Secretary General of International Association of Youth and Students for Peace in the Philippines, and also some leadership experience during my university days as a CARP leader. And also, I had an experience working with the government, closely working with youth government officials that are elected at the National Youth Commission in the Philippines. This is a national government agency. And currently, I am living here in Albania. Also, I work somehow with WFWP Albania, and I'm more on the technical side, helping them, and also supporting youth activities for CARP. So yes, I am deeply engaged in various youth activities that aimed at empowering youth and fostering sustainable development. And I'm really grateful that I've had a chance to witness firsthand the transformative power of collaboration, in which all of our speakers are also mentioning. So yes, allow me to take on a brief journey through some of the impactful initiatives we've undertaken, and most of the things that I will be sharing are actually best practices from the Philippines that have really brought the organization substantial results, especially in the field, and also working with other CSOs, and most importantly, the government side. So yeah, I just recently moved here in Albania. So also I'm thinking how we can be able to replicate all of these programs whenever what is possible. So yes, for sustainable education, so all of the programs that we've been doing in IYST in the Philippines are all centered on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which is also our vision and mission are anchored upon. So we have this program, the Pure Love Education. So this program embodies our commitment to sustainable education by focusing on character education to address pressing issues such as teenage pregnancy and the spread of HIV and AIDS. So I heard also earlier, one of our speaker, the one who speak before me also shared about these cases in the Philippines, and really, it's really rampant in the Philippines. So there are higher cases of teenage pregnancy and HIV and AIDS. So through Pure Love Education, we try to raise awareness and lectures. So we give lectures to give them awareness about what is happening, most importantly in the outreach areas in the Philippines. And also through this program, we want to empower young people with the knowledge and skills that they need to make, especially in making informed and responsible choices. Also, we have this what we call Asia Youth Leadership Conference. So this kind of conference actually aim to bring together young minds from across the Philippines and Asia. And also this conference serves as a platform for dialogue and action on critical regional and global issues. So it exemplifies our belief in the power of youth-led initiatives to drive positive change and foster greater understanding and cooperation. And the other one under this banner on sustainable education is the Leaders Connect program. So the Leaders Connect program, with a focus on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, this program aims to bridge the gap in knowledge and awareness among young people. And by engaging students and young people in discussions and educational activities centered around the 2030 agenda, we strive to inspire a new generation of leaders committed to sustainable development. So in the Philippines, when we're doing our survey for the youth and students, we've found out that there are a lot of young people, even if they are in school, they don't know about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And we find it really critical. So that's why we have launched this Leaders Connect program. And next one is on service projects and outreach. So under the banner of Share Love or True Love in Action. So this is our kind of outreach program, which encompasses a range of initiatives from coastal cleanups to providing support during calamities. So in the Philippines, as you know, We have a lot of calamities arising every year, more than 20 typhoons, different earthquakes, and more so. So yes, we have this kind of outreach and service project program for that. And by collaborating with various stakeholders, including government and private organizations, we amplify the impact of our efforts and foster a culture of service and solidarity. Next up is the Peace Designers Training Program. So this is one of the things that I'm really passionate about to do. So I am heading this program when I serve as a Secretary General in the Philippines. And yeah, this kind of initiative is a program that equips young people with the skills and knowledge they need to become agents of peace and positive change in their communities. So we've conducted online trainings and partnerships with organizations like the National Youth Commission and also YSP Korea to empower youth to build a more peaceful and inclusive world. So what we do in Peace Designers Training is that we gather youth and students to coach them on how to create peace projects that are under the vision of IAYSP. And most importantly, on the context of sustainable peace. So this is really a very good program because we've also able to make this program a part of the National Youth Commission, which is applicable to all elected sangguniang kabataan, or they are the government youth elected officials that are working in the grassroots. So this is one of the things that we do, and it's really nice that they've been able to adapt it until now. And also we have the Youth Heroes Award. So during pandemic, we didn't stop working. So even if it's online or virtually, so we still were able to launch the Youth Heroes Award. So this is also one of the biggest award that the IAYSP International is giving. And in the Philippines, we've launched it during pandemic in 2020. But we were able to award them in 2021. And yeah, this award, recognizing the exemplary contributions of young leaders. These awards celebrates their dedication and impact in addressing pressing social and environmental challenges. So by shining a spotlight on their achievement, we inspire others to follow in their footsteps and drive meaningful change in their own communities. So as you know, young people are very passionate, very active, very energetic, but also when they are recognized, when their efforts are recognized, so they gain more power and inspiration. So of course, this is not all about recognition, but also this is how we do to inspire other young people to do the same in their communities and in their society. And next up is the Billion Trees Planting and Growing Project. So yeah, from the name itself, it is really very ambitious, billion trees. However, nothing is impossible if we collaborate together. So the Billion Trees Planting and Growing Project, in alignment with the Sustainable Development Goal number 13 on climate action. So this ambitious initiative underscores our commitment to environmental sustainability, and through collaboration with government and private organizations, we've made significant strides towards our goal of planting and growing 1 billion trees, contributing to the fight against climate change. And just to share, in 2023, we reached over 50,000 trees planted in specific provinces in the Philippines with the help of the local environmental departments and other youth organizations. And yes, we also have a synergy. So once again, this is one of the main brand programs of the IAYSP, and synergy, that stands for ideas by that stands for students by ideas by energy. So this platform amplifies the voices of youth and students, providing them with a space to share their ideas and initiatives for social change. And by fostering creativity, innovation, and collaboration, we empower young people to drive positive impact and realize their full potential as change makers. And all of the participants of this program are required
Yeah, good evening again. I'm very sorry. I think, I don't know, some internet was stopping a little bit, so I didn't get the very last words. But again, it was such an energetic presentation, and it's really amazing what young people of the Philippines. I think they're even, I don't know, so much sun. I don't know what makes them so great. It was really so inspiring to listen. Now we have to, I want to invite the next speaker, and now I'm asking, is Miss Arshia Dutta now ready to speak, to present? I saw her coming in. Because she's our youngest speaker. She lives in America, originally from New Delhi, India. She is now attending a technical school, Queen's Technical School in New York. And she, are you here, Arshia?
She's just in the waiting room. I just let her in again.
Oh, because she was in here before.
Yeah,
I
there's
let her
people
in
coming
before.
and going. Yeah.
Shall we take another speaker first? Do you see her, Lily? I don't see. Maybe she's still getting ready.
Please.
Then we go to the next speaker and then come back to her. The next speaker.
Sorry,
You
I'm
here?
here. Yes. Just the last slide. I'm almost finished, but I was really out.
Oh, you were out. I thought I was out. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Miss
No
Nikki.
problem. It was me who has the problem, the internet problem. So yes, just the
Okay.
last slide. I just want to share
Yes,
this.
sure.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your patience. So yes, just this one. This is one of very important project that we do. We call this the Regional Youth Forum. So this is actually done in the 17 regions in the Philippines. And this program, we try to engage youth across the Philippines in discussions on critical issues, specifically on peace, security, and justice, on SDG number 16, and matters such as terrorism and deceptive recruitment of local communist armed group, which is still existing in the Philippines, unfortunately. So this forum plays a crucial role in raising awareness and building resilience in our communities, especially the most victimized sector, the young people. And through partnerships with government agencies such as the National Security Council, National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict, and other NGOs like Hands Up for Children Movement, also the Universal Peace Federation, and youth organizations such as the National Youth Commission, we work to combat threats to peace and security, ensuring a safer and more sustainable future for all. And this is also widely been done by our chapters, YSP chapters, all throughout the Philippines, and until now they're still in partnership with government youth officials, and really during the pandemic in 2021 to 2022, we've been doing this like 17 times online, all throughout the regions, and we've garnered more than 25,000 young individuals who joined us, and most of them are government youth officials and also young people who are in school, like journalists and also CSOs, CSO leaders. And really, it was really good because through it, we were able to also publish a book. We call this The Patriotic Youth. So as you can see, some of there. And yeah, this book also has been distributed all throughout the Philippines in most specifically for those chapters that are really in the red area. So in conclusion, each of these programs exemplifies the power of collaborative leadership in driving sustainable development and creating positive change. And by working together across sectors, generations and genders, we can build a more resilient and sustainable future for ourselves and for generations to come. Once again, thank you for your attention, and I look forward to our discussion ahead. Thank you also for your patience. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Miss Nikki. Thank you for coming back once more. And it's really amazing, your energy, but also the wisdom to work together with other groups, to mobilize other people, and also to mobilize the cooperation of government officials. This is really great because they're happy about you, and then you move forward even faster. Yeah,
thank you very much.
Keep you healthy and happy for a long time, really. Yeah, pray for your house. Yeah, thank you very much. So now we try again. Rebecca, so maybe, yeah, Miss Rebecca Justen, thank you very much for coming in. You have a master's, Miss Justen has a master's in education and in MSc in international social welfare. She is founder, trustee, and chair of the myself, and SCIO, Organization Ambassador of Women, Empowerment for Changes. Sounds really great, Miss Justen. Currently, you are running a project, Resilience and Mindfulness for Women Victims of Domestic Abuse. Thank you very much, Miss Justen, for coming in, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Renate, and thank you, Merle, for inviting me. It was a short invite. Last week, I received the invite, and at the same time, I was moving home, and it was a busy time, but I didn't want to refuse, and so I accepted it. And I was thinking I was told just 5 to 7 minutes, so I thought that's not a big deal. I just need to wake up and get ready to talk, to tell about myself and my work. And then yesterday, I was told that if I have prepared PowerPoint presentation, if I can share that. So I thought, okay, does it mean that I have to do some PowerPoint presentation as well? So I gathered some pictures and videos from here and there, from Facebook and from my photo gallery. I will share a little bit of our work that we do, and I'm very pleased to see some familiar faces that I recently met with at the Cyprus conference. Did someone say something? There was some voice.
Yeah, just continue, please. It's okay.
Okay. So can I share my presentation? Will it be okay? Am I given the access?
Please try. I think our technician gives you access here. Yes, it's working. It's working.
Yeah, so here I am. So as told that I am Rebecca Justen, and originally I am from Pakistan, but now I live in Scotland, UK. And when I came here to study my BSc Religious Education, and then I came to, I applied for MSc International Social Welfare. I did my master's degree in education in Pakistan, did my BA in psychology in Pakistan, but I did BSc and MSc here in the UK. And here you can see my degrees. This one is my BSc degree, and this one is my MSc degree. And while I was studying, I realized that communities here are quite isolated. They have community engagements, but everyone is doing whatever they want to do, or they are doing together. But there was nothing that was bringing people together. And particularly thinking of my own culture, I noticed that the condition of women was not much different from that back there. Though in the UK, in Western society, and there are more privileges, there are more facilities and laws and regulations that that protect women, but still women, not only like my age of women, but young girls and women, they are still suffering from the domestic abuse and violence. So that made me think of doing something for our communities. So while I was studying international social welfare, I thought that was my project to work on women resilience. So I wrote a project as well, and I did a lot of research on Asian communities. And then I talked about it to other Pakistani and Indian friends. And then I started thinking on starting this organization. This is me, myself, and I thinking that we need to have control on our own lives, because we are controlled from everywhere, not just by husbands. Let me start with fathers. Not just be controlled by fathers, brothers, and husbands, in-laws, sons, and everyone tries to control us. And the life was pretty much the same as it was in Pakistan, which I was not expecting. I was thinking that the mentality will be different in West, but not only just the Asian women, even the local Scottish women or English women, they are also still, many of them are still victims of all these the issues that we in Asia had been suffering from. So I started this organization. So that's what says that I am the founder and I am the trustee and chair. We rotate the status, the position of the trustees. So last time I was secretary, but now again I am chair. And the purpose of our organization that started Me, Myself, and I, or MM and I, is the provision of recreational facilities or the organization of recreational activities with the object of improving the condition of the victims of domestic abuse from Asian communities. And this is the first main focus of our work. And the next thing is, which is as important as the first, is the advancement of human rights, conflict resolution, and reconciliation. And the word is hidden behind the, can you see now? Reconciliation, and the promotion of equality and diversity, which covers everything. But what we do is we start with the recreational facilities, activities, and this brings communities together. Not only we organize the cultural Indian or Pakistani or other Asian cultural dances and music and activities that we arrange, but we are trying to mix together with the Scottish culture. So we do Bollywood dances as well as Kaileys and Scottish dances. So I will take you to our Facebook page and show just a little glimpse of what we do. And I hope it will work. Yeah, it did. So this is our Facebook page, and if we go through this, so we can see that what we do is that this is what we are going to do next, this last Saturday of this month. But these pictures, they are from our Women's Day.
We don't see the picture, we just see the link. If you need to stop share and go back to the other window.
I don't know how will I go, but
click the green stop share. And then click into the window where you have your Facebook open, and then share screen again.
All right. Stop sharing.
Yep.
and then share again. And
Select
there
your
is,
Facebook page.
okay, thank you. Learned something new.
Yep, that's good.
All right. So this is, we usually work together with other organization. This is another organization that we collaborated with to celebrate International Women's Day. So there was, during that event, we organized in a way that people know that it's just a social get-together. But during that social get-together, we talk about the women empowerment, and we raise awareness of domestic abuse and violence, because women actually don't really know what to expect about this, how we can just simply accept what we are, how we are dealt with. So so these were the talks that we do, and then besides that we do the dances and music and entertainment. So this was one of that event, and then there was yeah, this is again the same. So we invite our political leaders as well. So this was one of the political leaders from Asian community. So she was giving her talk. She is like a member, our members. And then we provide food that is sometimes pizza and sometimes the snacks, other snacks from our own cultural shops. So this is the food that is displayed, nice food, and people love like getting together, having entertainment and food. And this is another our MP of SNP organization, the political party. And this is one Indian a lady who is our trustee as well. And then there were singers that that were singing songs, and then this was one of the dance that was presented, and it was loved by people. This was I will show, if we will have some time, I will show the video. And these were special dance group that we invited, or we hired to entertain us. So these were some of the activities that we did. And these are some colorful pictures. We enjoyed that International Women's Day. And this is one of the events. You might recognize some people. They are for WFWP or Peace Foundation in Scotland. So we work together. And this was our Christmas get-together that we did with them. And this many Cyprus conference attendees know these, are familiar with these faces. So this was one of that. So I'm just going fast so that yeah, so see the people that are serving, they are enjoying, as well as we enjoy the dances and music. And these were all our volunteers, and we enjoyed the events. So we also organize the walks, well-being walks. So we take women to out for a walk, and we have a day out of a couple of hours. We are entertained by our company, and we enjoy the food. This was a volunteers day. So after some walk, we had some food at McDonald's or KFC. Yeah, it was KFC. So here you can see women are enjoying, and this is what we do so that women come out from their houses and from their environment and come out and enjoy and have fun. So these are some of the things that we do, relax and enjoy. And then I will stop it and then show you some of the videos if I have not taken too much time. Where is my presentation? So there were some interesting things that I have just picked up. This was our first event that we started this year. We have completed our 5 years. So this was the first one, and we will soon celebrate our 5-year anniversary. And this is one of the activities. And again, the same thing. And this I would like to show you. It's just a short video. Interesting, isn't it? Okay, so this is something we do, and then we do participatory dances. The groups that we dance group we invite, they do some presentations and performances, and then we invite all the women, whoever would like to. So we enjoy participatory. And now this is our Scottish dance. So this was one of the events in which we did Kelly. So we invited a special Kelly dance instructor. So she led the dance, and then we enjoyed that too. And so this, when we smile, when these little things, they bring smile on our faces. Me myself, I really enjoyed these activities, and not only that day, but for weeks and months, I just remember and enjoy. So I will not show you all, but it was just a glimpse to show. And then this is one of the Punjabi song, but that is in tune of Scottish national song. And she was singing in Punjabi, but then we were having Scottish dance. So this was a blend of both. So this is what I wanted to bring the cultures together. And we are enjoying, and the number of our attendees is increasing. As soon as we share the link or Eventbrite to register, it just covers in a couple of days, and we have limited places, so we have to close the invites. So this is again one of those activities that we do.
Maybe you can.
So this is going to be the last, the next event that we will have. So the main purpose of our organization is to bring communities together and empower women, and provide them with information, raise awareness of resilience, how they can have control on their own lives, and bring smiles and happiness on their faces with entertainment that I have just shown you. And sorry, I couldn't show you for a long time because of the shortage of time. And this is all we do. So thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you very much, Miss Rebecca Justin. This was really inspiring to listen, and it's such an important work. So we are grateful that you are doing this, because someone of your community can help other women of this similar community. This is always the best. Thank you very much. It was very inspiring to listen to you. So now we go back to our young lady, Arshia. So you made it. It's daytime in your place. It's night in place of some other people. Miss Arshia, very much welcome. We already said a little bit about you, and we want to listen to you now. So the microphone is yours.
Thank you. I'll just share my screen. So I hope it's visible. No?
We can see it. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So greetings everyone. I'm so sorry for the delay. So, firstly, I'd like to say I'm very deeply grateful for this opportunity that has been provided to me. And I extend my heartfelt gratitude towards everyone, especially the organizers of this event, and special appreciation to Miss Merle from the UN Vienna office. Additionally, special thanks to Miss Merle Berlan and Miss Carolyn Hanschin. So, I've always been interested in delving into different areas of activities that can range from classical dance like Bharatanatyam to essay writing, movie making, programming, and a lot more. So while I'm still in the process of learning, the guidance that I received from my mentors has been quite helpful to reach the position that I'm in right now. My parents, grandparents, teachers, and family have been some of my greatest pillars of support that have kept me going. I do have set goals for my future at this point in time, and I want to make a big change and leave an impact for a better future by doing different types of projects and expanding my knowledge in the process of doing so. So, during my time at Bluebell School International in New Delhi, India, because currently right now I'm in New York, so I had the privilege of presenting a project that I had worked on with a few teachers and classmates, which focused on finding a solution for one of the many UN SDG goals. This experience helped me open my eyes to further problems that usually go unnoticed by most and that should be worked upon further. More specifically, it is SDG 12 that I noticed. So if we go into detail about what the goal is about, it comprises of a few key points. It's mainly resource efficiency and recycling or upcycling. When it comes to resource efficiency, it ensures that the resources being utilized by organizations and different industries isn't excessive and is used wisely in the process. And when it comes to recycling, it is to ensure that the waste, if any, being produced alongside the final products are being recycled properly or disposed in such a way that they do not cause pollution. So SDG 12 plays a major role in climate change and other problems that we are currently facing, such as environmental degradation of our surroundings and biodiversity loss. If industries such as the fashion industry that plays a key role in this help take part to reduce the problems that we're facing by adopting modern solutions that can benefit their organization and the environment sustainably, I'm sure the impact would be tremendous. So, talking about fashion, more specifically, we go into fast fashion, which is there's been a recent uprise in fast fashion. Basically, as more trends rise to popularity, many brands and companies try to catch up in the race to profit by producing large quantities of a specific article of clothing. So, here's like a diagram of how fast fashion usually works, especially nowadays. It's become a lot more popular. So, when the trend slowly dies down, there are little to no consumers that would be willing to buy the product, hence leaving behind large amounts of wasted clothing and potential. This method has also become more popular as a greater quantity of goods are being made. They're sold at lower prices to attract a larger group of possible consumers. This only continues to produce more waste through less costly labor, leaving behind a massive footprint of pollution as it tries to catch on with the latest trends. So, the app that I have thought of is a possible solution for this. It is called Fashion Shares. And it will start by combating the amount of pollution that the industry is currently causing by helping recycle items and helping people do good with an incentive. So I'll just be sharing the prototype. Is it visible, the screen? So this is a demo of the app that I've created. So if you sign up here, you can either sign up or log in. So let's say we're logging in for now. This is the home page where you can either sell your items to the app, buy items, or see what the app is actually about. So if we go to the sell items page here, you can see here's a few examples. So this user has, for example, given an H&M conscious t-shirt to the app, and it says that they have been given the money back for this t-shirt that they have sold. Here, if you want to give another piece of clothing, here you can specify if it's torn or damaged. So let's say it's not. There are a few options that you can pick. So let's say it's a pair of pants that we want to sell. Here is the price mentioned. This was made in India, so it's in INR. Here you can upload a few images of the item and you'll get this. You'll need to have this saved when someone comes to pick up the piece of clothing that you're giving away. And here you can go back to the home page. Then if we want to see the buy items page where you can look at pre-owned items that are not damaged. So for example, as I had shown, you can specify if it's damaged or not. So let's say it's a perfectly good pair of pants that you've never worn and you just sold it to us. We'll basically see the condition and then we can sell it on this page, which is the pre-owned items page. So it'll be sold again so that it can be worn. And there's also another option for buying upcycled items, which is, for example, if it's torn or damaged, basically the app will be working on continuously making new articles of clothing which have been made from old pieces, which will be resold at sustainable and low prices comparatively to what we see nowadays, since it has become a lot more expensive. And here is an about us page about what the app does and the vision for it. So that was the app. So if we talk about how it will help, firstly, it's taking used clothing or clothing that isn't being used, and it will help people sell them sustainably. And they will also have an incentive to sell them. And the clothing that has been made by the app and is being resold again, it's not taking up any additional resources. So basically it's upcycling. And it can be proven to be sustainable in the long run. Here is a bit about me. I am currently a sophomore in high school, and I have been working with programming and creating prototypes of apps that I have ideas about. This was one example of them, which is Fashion Shares. And I also am learning classical dance, which is Bharatanatyam. So here is my email if you have any inquiries. It is arshiadutta10@gmail.com, and that was my idea of an app based on SDG 12.
We still see the phone. Can you show the email?
Can you see it?
We see the phone,
okay.
the mobile phone. Yep.
Just a second. I'll just share my screen.
Yeah, it was there.
Is it visible now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Miss Arshia. This is an amazing idea. I think this is really something very, very useful. And
thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you, and good luck and good fortune for the future. We wish you this from the bottom of our heart. And now we really want to move on to our last speaker. I hope he's still around. Our dear friend, Mr. Paul Mburu. He is from Kenya. We recently met him in Austria, but now he's back in his home country, and it's rather late for him. I hope he's still here, because also the internet in these countries is never 100% sure. Paul, you're here still.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I will not say much, so we let you speak now. Thank you for hanging on. So the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Renate. And thank you for the chocolates from Austria. They reached Kenya very well. And they found some people who are waiting for them. And also a big thanks to all the presenters, really very innovative, educative, and progressive presentations. And yeah, I'm more than glad to sum up the presentation for tonight. I was also not very prepared for a PowerPoint presentation. I just thought I was just meeting and greeting, saying hi. But I was asked if I can just, collect something small, which I did. So I'll try to be very brief. My name is Paul. I'm from Nairobi in Kenya. The founder and real life mentor for Sober Life Mentorship Society. We also call it Sober Life International because we've registered to other countries apart from Kenya. And I've seen quite a number of Kenyan participants here. I hope we can also meet and greet possibly after this session. So Sober Life, if we can just go straight to the presentation, so we just save on time. It was sharing, now it's gone out. Yes, so we can just go straight to the presentation. So next slide. Yeah, the background about Sober Life is that started in 2012. This was after just my university studies. And it happened that I had a period of time that I was involved in juvenile challenges, including drug abuse, just many other young people in Africa. And just started as a volunteer, just to reach out to my fellow peers, friends in the community and also in schools, in colleges, just to support them in their growth and development journey, and especially at that very delicate age of teenage and early youth. Since then, it has grown to be an international organization working with the different initiatives and partnerships all over the world. And Sober Life is registered in Kenya as a society and also in Zimbabwe as a trust. So the main objectives is to mentor young people into positive lifestyles free from the adverse effects of drug abuse and other emerging negative influences. We have media influences. We have so many other emerging, current ideologies that are affecting especially the young generation. And to promote strong families through positive parenting, parenthood bridging interventions. We realize that, every child comes from a family, every youth comes from a family. And once the family, institution is strong, then you can be sure that you're raising a strong generation. But once these are affected, we see also the outcome in the negative, lifestyles that young people are getting into as they grow up. And also to connect grassroots organizations working in the field of prevention. This is mainly drug and crime prevention and treatment as well, in order to achieve, a better, healthy generation that can take up the next, the reins of leadership in the current and future generations. And also to promote grassroots voices at the international platforms and advocacy for policies which are localized. This is what we are doing at the just concluded CND, and I've been attending it several years now, since 2016. And that's where we met with Renate and Rengad, and I'm so grateful to them because they've been making me connected with the Women Federation for World Peace. And this is why I'm here today, but I was actually attending on the CND. and then also to support social and economic empowerment initiatives. This goes without saying because Africa is on the lower side of the economic bloc, and many young people are, initiated into these issues you're talking about, drugs and crime, and other forms of social ills because of the situation, the environmental situation at home and community. And as I said, I was affected for almost a decade in this unfortunate situation. And some of the key things that have made the young people, especially in Africa, I listed some of them here. There could be so many, but I just highlighted some of them. Not so much, many times focused on, and this is a search for social identity, which end up, with young people being influenced negatively from different sources, from their peers, from the media, from just the society they live in. But they are searching for some identity. They want some place that they can call home, their heart and their minds, and where they can fit. And they end up, getting into, crowds or gangs that would deviate them from what will be positive for them. Then in Africa, and especially in Kenya here, there was a sudden shift in lifestyles. Way back in the 80s and going back, the society in Africa, in Kenya, was very cultural, was very strong religiously. But suddenly there was just, like an open, the world open in Africa after the 90s. There was a lot of westernization. There was a lot of influence from the American lifestyle. There are so many, celebrities that would come, especially in Kenya or in Africa, and bring so many of their ideologies and their lifestyles, which we thought as young people, this is what life is all about. So this ended up, in the glorification of drugs and the more trendy lifestyles, as we call them, and which has really affected the youths in Africa. And then number 3, which is very key, is the parent-youth generational dilemma. As I said before, the 80s, the parents who were the parents of the current young people, most of them had very strong values, cultural, religious values. And then suddenly the young generation has adopted to another new ideology. And therefore this brought a very huge gap and dilemma. And the parent would view the youth as being rebellious, and the youth view the parents as being, a bit outdated. And it's not easy to reconcile the two ideologies, because each one of them feel whatever life they're living, that is the best for them. And therefore, it drove many young people into these social habits that you're talking about. And then there's easy availability and accessibility of drugs locally and internationally, especially with the help of the modern social media, that goes without saying. And then the prevailing social and economic realities in Africa here that have always been prevalent: corruption, poverty, weak policies to fight this drug abuse habit, and also contain the crime levels within our society. Next. So these are just some of the interventions, just from the basic awareness about drugs, just how to manage, how to prevent, how to, to slow down the level of, in case someone is initiated, at least how they can, reverse and live a more responsible life. So this is just basically some of the awareness sessions that we have in schools, not only in the school environment, but also during holidays. Would go out maybe to a place that we can choose and have some 3 days of interactions, of life skills, of sharing experiences, and just making positive life choices in life. Next. This the university level, and this is a club that we started in my former university. I was at the United States International University in Kenya, in Nairobi, and there were some people that came from not well-to-do, and somehow they felt a bit marginalized and feel not like their future is not very bright. If you look at some of them, they have physical challenges, and therefore it was just to mentor them that regardless of their current former situation, they can still make it in life. And this was very positive. Many young people are able to come out of college with a very, positive mindset. And some of them, we could even connect them with possible organizations or institutions that could give them an income or a place to go and practice whatever they're studying in school. Next. Bridging the gap, as I said, between parents and students. This is a big thing. It's still very prevalent. Between 2010 and before COVID, or around COVID time, there was a lot of school. There were a lot of school chaos. There are so many chaos in schools, high schools, and one of the things that was discovered is exactly what you're talking about here. There was very little cooperation, little interaction between parents and their children, and therefore we came in hand just to try to bring these two mindsets to bridge the gap, so that the parents can appreciate their children, be their friends, and at the same time the children can have trust and confidence in their parents. Let's go on. I'm just brushing through because being the, and then these are international missions. This city here is called Shashamane. It's in Ethiopia. It is actually called the city of marijuana, of the religious ideology called Rastafarian. This is where their heaven is. I mean, they believe that when we die, or finally when the world will be over, this is where all the people that will go to heaven, they will come here. And so you find so many young people in this area, they don't go to school because the people is not necessary to go to school. When you die, that's also the best thing is just to come and live in this place, this temple here. There are so many, and you find so many nationalities. There are so many South American, Jamaicans, people from England and other places, even Kenyans and South Africans. They are here because they believe they just need to be in heaven for them to live comfortably. So you find that kind of idea, it needs a lot of interventions, mentorship for them to have a broader mind, because already it's so radical in them. So those are some of the international missions. There are so many others, but just pick this as an example. Next. And also we focus on spiritual and humanitarian interventions. This is one of the very big gaps in the whole world today. Many people have forgotten that they also have a spiritual being in them. It concentrates so much more on the mental and the physical, which is okay, but we cannot undo the fact that we also have a spiritual bit in us, which also needs to be strengthened, which needs to be connected, which needs to be given some awakening and awareness, so that to be able to just handle some of the very hard challenges that we find in life. So these are some of the places in the prison, and in some of the very hardship places in Kenya, northern Kenya, called Turkana, and where people really survive just on the edge and depend mostly on the government support and other agencies that come to support them. Okay, next. And here is where Renate took me the picture during the presentation and Irmgard just 2 weeks ago, or last month during the Vienna conference, and we were giving our presentation about some of the projects in Africa. Next to me on this picture is the presenter from DRC. We are in a partnership. The other side, we are attending one of the main forums, major forums, that we are giving our experiences and also our expectations from the forum. And you can see the difference between the last slide and this slide. It's like two different worlds, like two different humanity. I mean, we are the same human beings, but you can look at the difference. And unless we care for one another, all of us are bound to lose. And this is why we need to partner to strengthen our collaborations. Next. So I just picked one project which I'll go through very quickly, the East African Network on Crime and Drug Prevention and Treatment, of which the liaison for this region. And we can go to the next slide. The beautiful map is there of our beautiful region here. But we have a very active population of almost 302 million people. Majority of them, over 60%, are young people, which means there is a very strong labor force. And we share common cultures. We are very communal, very hospitable, very welcoming, very talkative, for that matter. So we share these common cultures and ideologies. We have a common language, Swahili. It's spoken all over East Africa. Very rich natural resources with minerals, forest, abundance of water, and very nice touristic, attraction, and always come for your summer holidays. So we have so many good things, but at the same time, in the next slide, we see that we have so many challenges, unfortunately. Continuous political instability, which have spanned for decades and decades. Some of the countries since independence have never known peace or stability. There's a lot of low economic and infrastructural development, which has brought negative, development challenges, accessibility to the rural areas, overstretched social amenities such as healthcare, education, and then porous borders. This is one of the reasons why we have the network to bring us together, because we have common borders. But unfortunately, these borders have been used for very negative things, transport and trading of illegal goods, including human trafficking, drugs, sexual trafficking, among many others. And some of the countries are so much isolated from the focus of international, from the interest of the international community. This is why we feel like if we get together, connect together, and have a strong network, then we can have a voice both locally, nationally, and also at the international level. Next. So I happen to be the liaison representative for this network, prevention and treatment, which of course stretches to other things: crime prevention, positive parenting, strong families. And these are some of the things that I've been carrying out for the last 5 years, since 2019, carrying out baseline surveys, assessment, and focus group discussions, both in the urban and also in the very rural areas of our region, and organize and coordinate community and public participation events, and plan network workshops for both country and regional partners, engage professionals in trainings and capacity strengthening, support the government. We work with our governments, local governments, so that we can also bring them to the attention of what is happening in the community, and also how they can localize their policies so that it can be favorable to the very local people that we are working with. And also mobilize financial resources, where we can at least get some projects. Am I audible? All right. Okay. I'm just almost finishing. Yes. So so we mobilize financial resources. We write proposals, and some of them have been very successful. We just had a project in Congo 4-year project, sober lives and healthy communities, where we got quite a good amount from the CEDA, and we were able to do a project there to rehabilitate youth families and make them live a decent and just a positive life that can help themselves, also their families. And also we want to expand and reach to other regions, not only in East Africa, but to the rest of Africa. And currently, last year in October, we were able to support the creation of the African Civil Society Forum. So it's just a bigger version of the East African network. So we have a stronger voice at the UN level, and also within the African region. And of course, to advocate for the voices of those who are in the local communities. My first presentation at the UN was about the voice of grassroots organizations at the international. So interested with Sara, when she spoke about international cooperation as one of the way to counter crime, cross-border crime, and the drug abuse, and all these issues that we are facing within our boundaries. Next. Yes, so this is just one of the forums that we had just 2 weeks before I came for the CND, Connecting the Parallels workshop series. In Kenya, we had 3 of them. The final of that, which was in Nairobi, where we got other participants from Burundi, Uganda, Congo, Tanzania, and even one person from Sweden attended. And it was very interactive. We spoke about so many things that are affecting the young people, affecting families, and how we can just use our different experiences to strengthen and bring progress to our local communities, even internationally. I think, yes, next, then next one. Yeah, so these are some results. Over 20,000 people have been impacted for the last almost 12 years of the existence of Sober Life. Of course, working together with other like-minded organizations and institutions. I have personally been able to travel to almost 10 countries in Africa, and more other countries in Europe, in Asia, India, in the Middle East, and also South America, and so many positive testimony have come, especially from the young people who felt they were hopeless. They didn't have someone that can stand with them in their situation, mentor for their what they are going through. So there have been so many positive testimonies on that, and parents with better attitudes and approaches to their children. Over 30 organizations only in East Africa are part of that network. And of course, we have also expanded. Now we're talking about collaboration with WFWP, WFAD, VNGOC, UNODC, among others. And there's social economic empowerment, as I said, in DRC. The project benefited over 3,000 young people, especially young women directly, and over 40,000 families also got benefits from that sober youths, healthy communities, and spiritual awareness and awakening. As I said, we also take time whenever we go for outreaches and we have an opportunity. We can also have some time to just mentor people spiritually so that they can also take charge of their spiritual lives. And we are united in this cause. And we believe that by working together as networks, as in partnerships with people that have the same mindset, with the interest of the young people, interest of the families in their heart, we believe that we can have a lot of impact both in our regions and also international. And though we have financial resources challenges and other economic challenges are present, but we always esteem the most valuable resource, and that is the human resource. And this is why we are here. We may not be having a lot of dollars and a lot of money, but as long as we have people that have the best interests of the community at heart, then we say we are good to go. And that is my website over there. Yes, my family website is my world. And I say thank you so much, as Asanteni Sana in Swahili says. Thank you very much for your time. And I hope each one of you that have a family, that have parents, that have children, that have brothers and sisters, you can make a resolution to make them strong and to make the world a better place. Thank you so much, Renate, and all participants for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul. It is amazing, and sorry that the time is always too short,
yes.
But you made an amazing presentation, and it's amazing the work you're doing. I can only wonder how you make it. There must be 2 or 3 Pauls around to manage all this. We really need to make conclusion, and there is one last lady who will say some concluding words. I'm so sorry. We are very sorry. The question and answers we will not do now. We will encourage each other to get in contact with one another, and if you have problems, come back to us. We can help you to make the contacts. And now I really want to ask our dear Maria Riehl, Dr. Maria Riehl, to make the concluding words. Dr. Riehl is the director of the Vienna UN office, and she was the founding member of Women Federation in Austria. Maya, the word is yours.
Well, thank you, Renate, and thank you all who stayed so long time until the end. It was great, like big dinner from many different type of reports and good projects. So thank you very much. I am just full of new ideas, and I wish everybody in your realm to be successful and to work together to do good networking. And we support you from Austria and from all over the world together through these technical possibilities. And instead of 1.5 hours, we could prolong for even 2.5 hours. So thank you very much for all the presentators, for participation, and for giving us insight in your life. So I'm grandmother also, so I can say through listening to you, I can wish that all children and all young people can receive support from their families, and we can stay united and support each other for the time on this earth. And good night to everybody, and we can accelerate to reaching of these SDGs: peace, prosperity, cooperation, and good development for everybody. So thank you very much to your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maria Riehl. And I think for the conclusion and for the bye-bye section, we will have some piece of music. Merle, yes, she choose some nice music for you. So, and this
Smile though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Light up your face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness, although a tear may be ever so near. That's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Light up your face with gladness, hide every trace of sadness, although a tear may be ever so near. That's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile.
Thank you very much for this beautiful music, and also really great thank you to Merle, Blaschke, Soquila, who prepared the program, and
We
for
can take a photo.
speakers together. Yes, let's make a photo. So everybody turn on the camera, and can we have a gallery? Yeah?
Ja, die moeten tegen foto maken.
Ja.
Dan moest er eerst...
So nice to see all of you. Thank you for those who stayed on. Please turn the cameras on if you can. It's still possible, if it's still possible. For some, it's very late.
I took already. Yeah.
You just do it as it is, yeah.
I did it. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Merle. Big applause to Merle. It's amazing. You find all these beautiful pearls.
And the next is
young spirit.
within months. After 1 month.
And after the next is in 1 month, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thank
you
you
so much.
Thank you very much.
Bye, Paul. Lulu, good night.
Bye.
Stay healthy.
Bye, Susan.
Bye
Good night. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Goodbye.
Bye.
Good night. Good night. Ciao.
Bye.
We love you. God bless you.
Bless you all.
You.
Oh.